Welcome to another episode of Bum with a Wrench. I'm your host Daniel, and on today's episode we're finally going to be digging back into the 7-liter, getting this air conditioning hopefully wrapped up here by the end of the week. It's Wednesday now, so I got 2 days to get this thing cleaned up, get it put back together and in the car. So on the last episode you saw I tore the front end off the 65 convertible. This morning I went ahead and just off camera took the boxes out of it. So let me get you over here so you can see what the boxes out of the car look like. So that's the main AC box. That's how you would see it if you were looking from the bottom side. So the transmission would be right here from the top. So this thing's in, it's dirty, but it's in really good shape. It's in really good shape. So, and I even pressure washed it a little bit this morning when it was in the car, and I got a lot of that black paint was just coming right off of it. So no big deal there. Then the heater box here, and you can see it still has the original foam from the factory. So that's good. That's really good. So here's the heater box. It's in really good shape. The only problem I saw was right here on this corner. This corner is broke off. So probably what I'll do is I'll take a look, and between the two boxes, I'll determine which box is the best one to use. It'll probably still be this box because that other one had a lot of cracks. You can see the framework back here is real straight on the other one. Let me get you over here. I don't know if you saw that. I'm kind of holding the camera and looking around. So the framework on this one's real straight, and that's what I mean by that is this back frame piece. You can see on this one, it looks a little straight on camera, but in real life, it's wavy, like someone was just prying on it because they didn't know what to do. And I think that's how this box actually got broke. So this one's actually in pretty good shape. That corner, yeah, see that corner's broke out on that one too. So I'll use the other box. But so that's how come this box, the more and more I looked at these, the more and more I saw just how bad they were. The frame on this one's all wavy and bent up too. All that can be straightened and fixed, but when you're dealing with a low production numbered rare car, like I said, you just want to find the best parts possible for it. So I think these are still going to be the best. I think once I get them cleaned up, you guys are really going to see what I'm talking about as far as that goes. I found something cool. So when I was taking the air conditioning box off, there was this tag, and it got trapped between the foam and the body, and so it just stayed absolutely perfect. I thought that was really neat. So I kind of held on to that. Obviously it has nothing to do with the 7-liter. It says May 14th, 6:08 a.m. 1965 is what it says right there on the end. And that box was 12 pounds, 7 ounces. That's pretty cool. Looks like a baby. That's a big baby. So this is what the car looks like. Now, I spent hours this morning going through and digging out. I swept it all up and cleaned everything, but you can still kind of see what was going on in here. The amount of goo that's just in this box is, people don't park underneath trees. I know in your mind you think, I'll park underneath the tree because it'll protect the car from the sun, but any little tiny bit of protection that you get from the UV rays from the sun is 10 times worse what the tree is going to drop on this thing. I was pulling dirt, I was pulling leaves, I was pulling sticks. I even pulled this out, which is kind of interesting. It's like a little, I don't know, tweezer thing that locks in the back. I don't know, maybe Maybe there was some mass murder or something owned this car, and that's what they're using to torture their people with or something. I don't know what that's for. Anyways, you can see here that the box is original because it still has this, it's like a Play-Doh kind of sealer. You find this a lot. It's real common on the inside of the doors around the plastic. And basically it's just like a Play-Doh, except for it creates a sealing bond. And it's still, even from 1965, this stuff is still pliable, still sticky, still actually in good shape. So everything's out on the outside. Now, I need to go in on the inside. Now, this is the part I need to be real careful about, because this box spans this whole lower part right here. It has all the vents in it, and more importantly, it has that one that goes up here for the defrost. And the one that was in the 7-liter was so destroyed, and somebody tried to wrap it with duct tape or electrical tape to fix it, of course, and it was just an absolute mess. So I need to go in. I need to get underneath this nasty car and very easily and gently take that inner box out, being mindful of all of those vents. So this one looks like it's been glued. This one, I don't know. No, that one's just undone. So I need to be careful on all this stuff. And something to note, if you look right here, this actually protrudes out from the firewall. On the 7-liter, it was in, it didn't do that. And the reason it didn't do that is because, like I was showing you guys, that carpet kit that they put in there that had that firewall insulation that was so thick. It's like an insulation with like a thick, hard plastic on the back side of it. I mean, it's a great idea. It'll help to keep the noise down and that kind of stuff, make the car a little bit more enjoyable. However, cut it away from where the airbox sits, because that was supposed to protrude out into the other box, and it assists in the wicking of the water. So as that condensation builds on the evaporator, it needs to go down into the box and then be taken away by those hoses. But that little lip was on the inside of the car, so really what it would have done is it would have dropped water constantly on the inside of the car. I know everybody wants to try and, improve on what they've got, but really just take a look at it before you actually just 100 miles an hour in one direction. Pay attention to what it's going to do, how it's going to affect the situation, because honestly, that that very rare car in there could have just constantly been getting water on the inside, which eventually would have rotted the floors out. Hopefully somebody would have saw it before that happened. You never know. But just pay attention when you're going to upgrade something like that. Think about all of the processes that are in there and how it's going to affect the car if you modify or change it in the direction you want to go. So this is looking really good. I'm really happy with this. I'm probably going to call it good on this car today. The sun's been going down a little bit early, because time change and all that kind of stuff. So it's 3 o'clock now. I probably got maybe another hour's worth of light, but I don't want to rush that inner box at all. I've got a lot of work to do on the outer boxes, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to concentrate all my time and efforts for the rest of the day on getting these 2 outer boxes completely cleaned up. So that was a beach cruiser, by the way, with big old speakers hanging off the side of it. Dude just riding by. Not the craziest thing I've ever seen. In fact, in high school, man, I used to see some wild stuff, be sitting in a parking lot and all these guys come flying up, jump out of their car, beat the crap out of a guy or beat the crap out of a car, just completely for no reason, jumping up and down, smashing the hood, smashing the top, smashing the whole thing for no reason. Well, I'm sure maybe they had a reason, but I mean, that's takes me back right there. You know, used to see some interesting stuff. Anyways, sorry, got a little off course there. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean these up. I'll probably bring you back in before I go home tonight and show you kind of where I've gotten with them. I'm probably gonna separate them from that metal plate on the back and put that in the media blaster, get that all cleaned up, get those painted and ready to go for tomorrow. I'm just now realizing that I still have not ordered the seal kit. Those seals didn't look too bad though. I'm gonna see, maybe I can save them. I don't know. I need to take a look. But that's gonna do it for right now. Let me get these cleaned up. Let me evaluate everything. I'll bring it back in before I go home. And then first thing tomorrow, we'll get the inner box out, do the same thing with that, clean it up, get it ready. Then I gotta go into the car and cut that insulation. I've been waiting to do that because I wanna see what the inside of the real car should look like, because that does have insulation in it. And I want to see if they just had it in little areas, in little sections, or how it actually laid out in that car, so that I can duplicate it and put it into this car, because that plastic installation that they have comes all the way up to the very top behind the dashboard. So I'm probably going to have to cut and remove a lot of that stuff. But so let me get this cleaned up. I'll bring you guys back in and we'll see how it looks. All right, as promised, I got you guys in here. I've completely disassembled the boxes, inspected them thoroughly, because what I'm looking for is any damage, and of course there is some damage. And I'm looking to see what I need to do to, one, preserve these so they last another 50 plus years, and two, what I can do to make them look like, you know, I haven't really touched them. And so that's the important part. That's really what I'm going for, is making it look like I haven't been here. But some of the problems that I am seeing is, like, this is the case that holds the heater box. There's a lot of rust here. The rust is fine. I can take that off with a media blaster. This is just the seal. Even the rust in here isn't really all that bad. I can correct that. But what happened was as something does rust, it expands. And it's kind of like the freeze plugs in your car. As it expands, something's got to give. So the heater box down here on the bottom took a little bit of damage on this tab. Now I have the tab and I have the piece. Same with this one over here. That rust really kind of got into it and took its toll. So it got into this one a little bit, but this one's still okay. Now I can correct a lot of this. I'll slip the piece back on there and then JB weld it in place. And since JB weld is that kind of gray natural color, and this is on the bottom of the box in the fender, you'll never see it. It's still nicer than that one over there. That one over there also has this corner broken off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild this corner with some JB weld probably. Little crack up here. I can use some clear epoxy on that to correct that. This thing was pretty filled with dirt and debris in this bottom section here. It does have a drain hole, but when you've got a ½ inch of dirt just, you know, plugging that hole up, of course it's not going to do anything. Again, don't park them underneath trees, people. So got some cracks up here. I can put some clear epoxy on the inside of this. What I'll do is I'll kind of use the Dremel and lightly just kind of open that crack up a little bit. It's kind of like welding. And then I'll put some epoxy in there that'll hold both those pieces real tight to each other. Got a little crack in this corner. I'll do the same with that. Little crack down here on the bottom. Do the same with that. A little crack over here on the side, and again a crack here. I'll fill all those with epoxy and strengthen the box really. I might go ahead and just kind of do a layer of epoxy here on the bottom edge, just to strengthen up that inside edge, and to give it some more power. So these were all black, so these will be easy. Obviously I can't put this in the media blaster because I don't want to touch this. So I just sanded it, wire wheeled it a little bit, and that's pretty much ready to go. I'll probably sand on it a little bit more and then hit that, tape this all off, and then hit that with a little bit of black. The big problem, well, before we get to that, let's, the door, so this is the part that I couldn't get off of the other one because they were all glued together. And honestly, all it is tape, plumber's putty that's really sealing these all together. So that's all I'm going to use, is just some plumber's putty to seal them all back up. That way, if you need to take it apart, you can take it apart. I was real gentle with the tabs that hold the vacuum lines, because they still even have their rubber coating on them, which is awesome. So I want to make sure I retain that. I do need to clean all the black off of this. I'll work on that. But this piece is actually in really good shape. I don't remember if there was really any damage anywhere. This little kind of one ear right here that's a little bit misshapen. And really it's not even misshapen, it's just the hole's a little bit bigger than it should be. I think that was the only damage on this cover. But this cover is a lot thicker, because they were meaning this to be a part that, you know, a technician would remove from the vehicle to operate on the air conditioning. So I think they purposely made this part a little bit beefier. I wish they would have done the same with some of the other parts as well. But so this part, the big main part here, this one, I really took a lot of time to inspect, look at. It's got some problems. There's a crack here on the bottom. I can correct that with a little bit of epoxy. I'm not worried about that. All the ears pretty good. This one right here, when I took the clip off, because the clips are rusting, so I gently took all the clips off because I want to media blast them, put some rust preventative on them, and then stick them back on. Again, the little rubber is still on the tab, so I was real gentle with that. But the main thing is this is starting to rust as well. You can see a lot of rust up here at the top. It's going to do the same thing on the bottom. Again, you've got all that dirt on the inside because people park under trees. Stop doing that. I need to take the doors apart and really just kind of go through, media blast everything, paint it. The problem is they securely mounted this piece to the frame, and I need to get the frame off. I can deal without doing everything else, but that frame is already rusting. I need to get that off. If I want this to last another 50 plus years, I got to remove it. Unfortunately, what they do is they use these special rivets. On the back is just like a rivet head. On the front is kind of like this just exploded kind of look. Now I can put a rivet in there. It's not really going to look exactly the same. So I've been really kind of battling in my mind. I know I have to take it apart. I don't want to, but I have to. I got to get that frame media blasted, get all that rust off of it, and clean it up. And again, this part's still better than that piece without all that glue. Taking that one apart now, seeing how fragile these are, taking that one apart and breaking that glue apart, that's going to be something else. I'm telling you what, I'm going to have to be very, very careful. But with this one, you know, again, you can see what color it was by simply just going to a spot. I didn't do anything here. That's the factory black. So it was actually like a gloss black is what it was. So that's what I'll paint it. It's all the inside parts, so you really don't see it, but cleaning it up, painting it that gloss black again is going to prevent you know, rust, dirt sticking and rust forming and all that kind of stuff. So if I were to just clean this up and put it back in the car, it might last 10, 20 years, sure. I'm hoping this car lasts 100 plus years. I hope it's around forever. So I want to build this part with the mindset that that car is going to be forever. It's going to be here, you know, for years and years and years to come. So as much as I don't want to take it apart, I have to. I would love to see if I could try and find these rivets. I've never seen. I mean, I've seen them. I've just never seen them sold anywhere. So it looks like what it was a machine that popped the rivet in from the bottom, and then it had like another tooth, kind of like a flaring tool for brake fitting. Had another tooth that came down and then crushed and puckered that outside edge, so that it gripped onto that box. Not really much I can do. What I'll try and do is I'll try and use a stainless steel rivet, and then I'll push if the manual doesn't come out, I'll push the little bulb mandrel out of it, and then maybe I can lightly trim the top, or just kind of pucker it and bring it back over. I don't know. I would love to see if I could get something close to what this is, because I don't want it to look really out of place. If I did the rivets backwards and had the head on the outside, I mean, that won't look too bad. It would look probably better than the back side of the rivet sticking out. And then I could just trim the inside, flatten it out. I don't know. I'll have to play with it, but I gotta be very careful because this thing's super fragile. So next is, I guess, gently drill out these rivets, remove this top, media blast all the metal. I ordered the seal kits. So I ordered 2 seal kits because I have 2 sets of boxes. I ordered the heater seal kit for my 65 because I figured, you know, I'm in there, they had it. Eventually I'm going to paint that car, so I'm going to take that box off and I need to reseal it back up. So ordered the seal kit for that. They also had, which was really kind of cool, on the inside of the fender, right here where the wheels are and the upper A-arms are skirts right there. This car has it. My car doesn't, and that car doesn't. And they were like $25 or something for a set. I can't remember exactly what it was, but so I ordered a couple of those. I actually had a bunch of cool parts. I believe it was Detroit Muscle or something like that. You have to go check them out. So it was a Detroit Muscle gaskets, and here I can actually, I'll tell you what it is because they sent me a receipt. Let's see. Yeah, Detroit Muscle Technologies. And they're out of Warren, Michigan. So thank you, Detroit Muscle, for you know, making these products. Because seal kit, I mean, I could sit there and cut it out by hand, freehand it, but they, you know, they have it all. I looked at the seals and everything. Look exactly what I have. So I'm sure they're just putting it on a plotter and cutting it out. But hey, it makes life easy, and it looks more factory. So thanks, guys. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today. It is pretty late now. The sun's gone down. I probably got about half hour, 45 minutes before I go home. So I really don't like doing those last end of the day things, but I think I can just gently in the next 45 minutes drill these out and remove this box. So I'll probably end up doing that. Tomorrow when I come in, I'll scrape off all the gaskets, put these in the media blaster, get those all blasted down to bare metal, put paint on them, and then it's just clean up the boxes and wait for those gaskets to show up. So I got a lot of epoxying to do, get the paint and stuff off of them, scrub them down, clean them up. I was even seeing some Bondo and stuff where they were working on the car because the car was repainted. So you could see where it had dripped onto the spots of the car. But anyways, okay, I think that'll do it for today. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. All right, guys, I wanted to take a quick minute here and show you where I'm at with this. I made some decisions last night that I think worked out for the best. So this is the box, the main box. And what I did is I couldn't bring myself to drill out these rivets. It would have looked horrible. So what I did was I put it in the media blaster and just tried to stay off of the box. You can see some discoloration where the media blaster hit the box, and then I just tried to stay on the metal, getting that metal cleaned up. And the reason I didn't want to take this apart is because I inspected the old box from the guys that kind of messed it up, and they did the same thing. They drilled them out and they used rivets. And if you look, that's what it looks like. It just looks horrible. And I didn't want to go through this whole process just to, have a box that looked really nice and really stock, to only end up with something that looks heavily modified and messed up. So I went ahead and I kept the original rivets, and then just media blast around. I think it worked great. It really kind of shows the couple of cracks that are in this box. So this morning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these with epoxy. I got some 2-part epoxy. So I'll fill those with a toothpick and get those real nice. I went on to Amazon and I ordered some of the putty that goes in that they were using to seal this with. And so I think that'll be in tomorrow. And what I'll do is I'll just work it underneath of the box in the places where it needs with a little screwdriver or a toothpick, something like that, to get that sealed up the way that it should be. So my plan this morning is to clean up the metal frame, because I media blasted it pretty good. This door has got a little bit of black still on it, but that's fine. You don't see any of this. So when I put some paint on it, it should look pretty good. So I need to do some repair to the box. Still got some of that putty, in here. So I'm going to clean this up some more, paint the metal frame. I'm going to tape it all off and get as much paint on it as I can. Again, you want to protect it from that rust happening. So I still have the upper part of the box to finish cleaning up. I'll get that finished, cleaned up, and I'll get this little metal bracket here painted. But this thing's in really good shape, so I'm not really worried about that. This I got to do some repairs on. We're going to repair this little crack down here and this over here. And I'm even going to attempt to repair in here. I think what I'm going to do in this is I'm going to use a Dremel tool and kind of just right in the center of the thickness put a slot, and then I'm going to machine down a washer, slip that in with some epoxy on the back side of it, and then fill on both sides with some JB Weld. JB Weld is pretty close to the same color as this. It should match okay. I can always just kind of some gray paint or some black paint, mix something up to where it looks close to it. At least that'll protect it and give it some strength back. So I think this is coming out pretty good. Let me, and then of course I still have to strip that down and paint that piece. So really that's probably what I'm gonna be concentrating a lot on today, is just getting these parts worked and cleaned and ready to go back into the car. I did order the seal kits and stuff yesterday. So unfortunately, my plan to have this back in the car and working by the end of the week probably isn't going to happen because I forgot to order the stupid seal kits. So I'll just get as far as I can. So you just keep working on it. I've got a lot to do on the inside of the firewall. I still got to fix all of that insulation that's not supposed to be there, and I still have to get the inside box out of the 65 convertible. So that's what I'll be working on. I think I'll have enough work to keep me busy through the week. Today is Thursday, I think. So really it's, 2 days left of the week. Yeah, Thursday. So, yeah, try and get as much done as I can. Let me get this cleaned up, and then when I get to a good spot, I'll stop and bring you guys back in, kind of show you what I did, explain a little bit more. The goal is to get these completely built and ready to go back into the car. So let me get working on that, and I'll bring you guys back in and show you where I get. All right, guys, we're back. I got a lot of the parts cleaned up. Got a lot of stuff ready to get reassembled. However, I have a bit more epoxying to do. Really what I want to do is I want to make sure that these boxes last for a long time. So any of the weak spots I'm going through, and on the parts where you can't see, so on the back side, that kind of stuff, I'm doing epoxy to strengthen it. Really, honestly, what a lot of the damage is on these is leaving it out in the elements with trees, debris, dirt, that kind of stuff. It really rotted this stuff away. Even with that being said, these are still in way better condition than the ones that I have. I've got the heater box over there. I've epoxied the bottom edge of it. I might move to the old outer shell. I'm not sure. I need to finish up that and see how it looks. Either way around, that has to be done because it's going to go into the other car. But so between the two, whichever is the best of the two, then I'll use on this car. But for now, this is the finished product. This is what it's supposed to look like, the right color, painted the top piece. Everything is all cleaned and ready to go back together. So as soon as I get these gaskets and seals and stuff that I need, this part just media blasted. It's got a lot of corrosion here at the bottom, but that's okay. You're never gonna see that. And now that I've treated it with some rust preventative and some paint, this should last a long time. So the main box here, I just have to tape off this part of it, paint the metal structure, but I want to go through and I'm going to sand off some of the old stuff. I got a razor blade and sand, and there's some sealer and stuff still here on the back. Normally you could just leave it, but I mean, you're here, you're doing it. I mean, you might as well take a minute and just kind of clean it up, kind of thing. So I'm doing that. I'm inspecting it. There's a little crack right here that I need to epoxy. So there's a little bit of work that still needs to be done to these, but basically that's it. These are pretty much done until I get the seal kit and I can reassemble these back together. I really don't want this episode to drag out to be 2-3 episodes long of me just sitting there sanding and polishing and painting and doing all this stuff to air boxes, So I'm going to end this episode, and you can kind of see the process that I was doing to revive these, restore them. When we come back to the air conditioning on this car, these will be completely assembled and ready to be put into the car. So I'm going to do all that off camera for a couple reasons. One, again, I don't want this to drag on and just be boring as heck. So let me get that done. And then two, I did the right thing and took my 1965 hardtop that is nowhere near being completed or anything else, and I signed it up for the West Coast Power Tour. That'll be not this Friday, the next Friday. So I got a week to get that thing together and roadworthy so that it can go to Vegas and back. It's pretty close to being done. I have the brakes for it and everything. Really, that's what I got to do. I got to do the brakes. I got to seal up that tail shaft on the transmission, check the rear axles and make sure none of those are bent. And as long as all that's good, give it a nice wash, clean up, and then hopefully Friday morning, take it over and start enjoying it on the Power Tour. So the Power Tour is always something I wanted to do. The West Coast one is okay. It's not as cool as the East Coast one. Really, it's California to Vegas and back to California again. So it's not, the drive is not as crazy as the East Coast one. But still, I always wanted to do a Power Tour. I think it'd be great to get that car out there and really shake it down and see what happens. Maybe I'm broke down on the side of the 15. Maybe if you guys are on the Power Tour, you might see that car or on the side of the highway. I don't know. So it'll be an adventure. Really, that's what these cars are about. Just having a good time, going on that adventure, and seeing what happens. You never know. I hope maybe some of you guys are out there and I can catch you and shake your hand, say hi, and thanks for watching. But if you're not out there, you know, check it out on TV or something. But it's going to be interesting. I've got a friend that might go. You know, he's like, dude, you haven't even tested that car. I mean, you know, it was going to go to the duct tape drags and I didn't test it. And then the last day that I did test it, it was a mess. So, but I told him, yeah, I know, I'll throw it together. I'll drive it about an hour down to his house. We'll check it out. We'll see if it runs good. It'll be an hour down to his house, an hour back up here to the shop. If it runs great, take it to Vegas. Either way around, it's going to go to Vegas. So I'm going to make this one happen. So that car will go to Vegas. I might be sitting there by myself driving it, but hey, it'll still be a good time. So I hope you guys can make it out there. If you can't, I'm going to be doing some filming, and I'll bring you guys along and show you the power tour. So that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you for watching. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Tell a friend. I'm just trying to build the channel, make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to get some stickers made up for my 65 hardtop for the power tour. So maybe I'll make a few extras and maybe give out a few to some of the subscribers. So if you're interested in something like that, maybe getting a free sticker, you know, send me a message in the comments and I'll connect with you and send you a sticker. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. And until next time.